Jackson, an osteopath at Glastonbury Surgery, and I work from the Somerset Health Practice. We thought we'd do a little documentary or a little series of treatments for Achilles tendonitis. Here's Rosie, who's just come out of a CrossFit competition, and anyone who knows CrossFit know that they give 110%, 150 maybe. So that's what Rosie did, and she's damaged her Achilles tendon. Now, at the practice here, we love Achilles tendons because they are so difficult to treat, and using the Shockwave, we found how easy they are actually to be able to treat. So what we're going to do is we're going to ultrasound the tendon and have a look at the state of the tendon. So we're going to see whether there's any tears or more chronic inflammation. The chronic inflammation displays itself with flashing light, so we can measure an increased blood flow, and that's what we'll be able to measure as we go through the treatment. So we'll be able to grade how severe it is. I'm going to introduce you to a Shockwave machine and explain a little bit about how it works and what we use it for. Shockwave is the term for a machine which causes an impact or a pressure. So really, there's no shocks involved, there's no electricity. It's just a mechanical pressure or a pulse which drives within to the body. Now, we're all familiar with Newton's cradle, how the ball on top of the desk, how the series of balls would hit a ball and then it would drive the other one up. And that would again hit those balls and it would drive the other one up. So by hitting a pressure into the body, there's nowhere for it to go. So that just creates a ripple effect through the tissues, and where it hits, which is usually the disease tight area, it will stimulate a change. And that change again will cause an inflammation and stimulate regeneration of tissue, and that's what really an inflammation is. So unlike a steroid, which tends to shut down inflammation, this causes an inflammation and goes with the body in order to create natural healing. This is especially good for tendon problems because tendons have an exceptionally poor blood supply, especially in certain areas of the body. But tendons take 12 weeks to heal, as opposed to bone, which has a much better blood supply, and that takes about 6 weeks to heal. By using this and going with the body, we're stimulating an increased blood flow. I'll just explain a little bit about how the Shockwave works. So this is a compressor. This is a very good Shockwave machine, and it's one of the best, a Swiss Dolorclast machine. That compressor is hitting a piston which fires down here at the bottom. This small area will be aimed into the tissue, to the affected tissue. So the ultrasound, this machine uses sound waves to penetrate the tissues, and it reflects back. So this transducer picks up the reflection of the sound waves as they come back through the tissues. So high density tissues reflect brightly, produce a lot of reflection, and low density tissues or fluids won't reflect, so they become darker. So here we are. Okay, let's have a look. So this is Rosie's calcaneum. So this is the bone, the foot bone. We're seeing a little bit more disturbance to the bone, but not enough to create a spur. But on the insertion, there's a part where the irregular contour. So again, that's the start. We know that the tendon's being very taxed. So we'll just take an image there. So here we are. This is the thicker area here, and this tendon is 8.7, so it's probably almost 2 millimeters. Or you wouldn't say that looks seems that much, but it is enough to cause an issue. So in this mode is called Doppler. Doppler allows us to see flow, measures flow. So it's rather like the cameras on the roads that will take a picture of you if you're speeding. So here we are, we see this flashing colours, so there's extra blood vessels here that are trying to repair the area. And notice here that the tendon, the actual vascularity is not in the tendon. It's worse when it is in the tendon. So that when there's a tear, there'll be inflammation, there'll be fluid around or in pockets. So that would distinguish if there's a separation and if there's a tear. So yeah. So the actual tendon is sort of bathed in a whole fluid surrounding it. And this is what I was thinking, oh, is that a tear within the tendon? No, but the actual, all of the tendon has got a sort of fluid surrounding it. So sometimes we see this and we call it a tenosynovitis, but those are in smaller tendons like our thumbs or hand. But here we have it sort of bathed in this fluid. Some small partial tears, and at the bottom there, where the insertion is on the calcaneum, on the bottom of the foot, it's been troubled for some time, so we're starting to see a little raised portion where the tendon inserts into the calcaneum, but not very much. Yeah, I bet you were straighter than that at the weekend in the competition. How are you doing now? How does that feel?
That feels okay.
Turn it up a little bit.
Okay.
Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Woo! Yeah.
Nice voice. Face the camera and give a little report. What you think? Your first experience of shockwave on an Achilles tendon?
Well, it's a shock. Is how it feels. It's really intense. It does require you to breathe into it. The experience of giving birth definitely helps. You can draw on that in terms of deep breathing.
Deep breathing, yes.
Into the discomfort, into the pain. It's it's an unusual discomfort, and it is painful, especially more so on the right side where I'm experiencing more inflammation, and it definitely feels easier breathing into it. I think that initial shock, you kind of want to run away from the pain. That's just our reaction, our human response to pain.
Do you think that's why they call it shockwave?
Yes. Yes.